Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about who I am. I'm going to talk about my experiences with electric cars, plug-ins, and my hope is just to try to share the knowledge that I've gained from driving electric cars for close to 10 years now. So here we go. So first off, my name is Jim. Hi, I live in Ithaca, New York. It's right in the center of the state in the Finger Lakes area. So we definitely get a lot of snow. So I have a ton of experience driving electric cars in the snow. The first thing new EV drivers are going to have to realize that with current battery technology, yes, you're going to lose range in the winter. Mainly that is because electric vehicles have electric battery heater. But not only that, there's also a second cabin heater that's going to keep the cabin, the inside air temperature, warm enough for passengers. And those two items suck a ton of power. Usually, yeah, you lose about half your range, maybe a little bit less. I think with my Tesla Model X, I'd lose about a third of my range. But speaking of Teslas, if you do get one of the new Model Ys, they have a heat pump system. And again, I'm not going to get too crazy into the details. I'm sure you're going to research the car to death. But they do have a heat pump, and that supposedly is going to be a lot better for cold weather driving. I'm not sure what kind of losses you're going to have. Maybe none, maybe only 10%. But generally speaking, the way it's always been is you're going to lose quite a bit of range in the wintertime. But it's not only just because of the two heaters. If you have snow tires, that is added resistance. You're going to lose probably 10% just for having snow tires. And then all the slush, rain or snow, and of course wind are all going to hurt range even more. So suffice it to say, if you live in cold weather, you're going to want to get the biggest battery that you can afford, or maybe something with the newest technology that, like the heat pump in the Model Y, that's going to just be more efficient and it's going to help you guys get through the winter without losing so much of your range. But again, speaking of my Tesla, I've had quite a few cars over my years. I was always into gas cars. I used to race. I had a ton of motorcycles. So I've always been into cars. I'm definitely, I guess, what you would call a car guy. But back in 2011, I believe it was, I bought my first plug-in. That was a 2012 Toyota Prius Plug In. It was the very first version that they did. It was a great car. Like, it was very comfortable, great on the highway. It had great efficiency. But the EV range was terrible. It'd get between 9 and 12 miles on a charge. And with all the hills that I have here in Ithaca, going up pretty much any kind of hill would kick it out of EV mode and the gas engine would turn on, even if you had the range to get wherever you're going. But it gave me the itch. It was my gateway drug, is what I always tell people. I saw the possibilities and I wanted more. So then in 2014, I bought a brand new Toyota Rav4 EV. If you haven't heard of it, that's okay. They were a super rare car. They only made 2,500 of them. They were only sold in California. I was able to find a dealer that was going to sell it to me out of state, which was very, very hard to do. And I paid for shipping from California to New York. And I still have, 2014 Toyota Rav4 EV. One of my favorite cars of all time. Absolutely love it. Range is very good. It was a compliance car that Tesla made for Toyota, so it has all the Gen 1 Tesla parts, which actually has been surprisingly reliable, at least for me. But I love the car. We drive it all over the place. It's got like 87,000 miles on it now. I've also owned a few others. I had a 2012 and 2013. Same car. Just really liked it. It was a great option. With that car, when it was new, my record was 144 miles on a charge, which is excellent. It was rated 105 miles. And the average driver could usually do around 120, 125. But again, in the winter up here, I'd only get like 60. It'd be pretty tough to get around. And if you watch some of my previous videos, I love road trips. I took that car on so many road trips all over the place, and it can definitely be a challenge. And if you follow my channel, you know that I also had a 2019 Tesla Model X. It wasn't a very good ownership experience, but definitely was an experience, and I won't do that again. But anyways, you can watch my playlist about all my Tesla issues and stuff if you're curious. But now I am very excited about my 2021 Toyota Rav4 Prime. So far, it's been an amazing car. I've had it, I think, about a month and a half, something like that, but I just love it. The biggest issue with electric cars is the range and charging. Even with the Tesla, you're going to have to stop and charge on a road trip. And if your family's not on board with that, it can definitely be a problem. I have a 2-year-old who didn't love stopping and charging for 45 minutes on a road trip, or even 20 minutes. I know charging will continue to improve and get faster, so it definitely will get better. But so far, in my experience, it can definitely be a chore. And I really wanted this. And I love road trips. I love the adventure. But stopping to charge for hours for a trip, it just gets old after 9 years of doing this. So for all of those reasons, I'm loving the Toyota Rav4 Prime. I can just jump in it, go anywhere. Range anxiety, charging anxiety are all completely gone. Don't have to worry about that at all anymore. Yet on most of my trips, on any given day, I can be on all electric, which is just awesome. But speaking of electricity, I get all of my electricity for free here at home. Technically it wasn't free because I had to pay for it, but I installed a ton of solar panels. I have a 17 kilowatt solar system here at my house. I have 2 Tesla batteries that provide us storage. We can go on-grid or off-grid. My goal was just to be as independent as possible, no matter what happened. So if STHF happened, I am set, I still have power, and I can still drive anywhere I want because I have an electric car. So that was always my goal, and thankfully it is really working well for us. So we don't pay anything for electricity because the whole system's paid for. So we try to charge at home as much as possible. We'll use some public charging stations here and there if we're out and about for lunch or something. And actually, when I did have the Tesla, I had free supercharging for life, which was totally awesome. So I use our local supercharger, which is only like 10 minutes away. I use that a lot to charge the car. And I kept our solar power here at home in the batteries in case of emergencies. With all of my vehicles, I've always tried to drive as efficiently as possible. I always kind of thought of it as a game, trying to get the best mile per gallon or the best EV range that I possibly could. So for me, when I'm driving, no matter what the car is, I kind of use all the controls as a little joystick, and I'll pop it into neutral if I'm going down a hill to coast. And once it gets up to speed, then I'll turn on the regen, maybe turn the regen on a little bit stronger. And I just do these little games to try to make the drive as efficient as possible. I don't know if everybody does that, but with most of these cars, they like do all the thinking for you and you can just drive it and not worry about the efficiency as much. But why am I telling you all of this? I just wanted you guys to understand where I'm coming from with my experiences. Yeah, you could listen to anybody you want. There are a ton of people out there making EV YouTube videos, so you can listen to any one of them. You don't necessarily have to listen to me whatsoever, but I do have quite a bit of experience with this, and that's just kind of what I wanted to communicate to you guys. But in the next video, we're going to be talking about the charging basics. I think it's going to be a really good video, hopefully, so stay tuned for that. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, click the bell notification, and definitely please give me a thumbs up on the video. Have a great day, guys.